Hi, I just wanted to make this video for other parents out there, anyone who might be immune compromised or if an immune compromised child, such as after like a organ transplant or whatever. My daughter had a liver and kidney transplant in 2011, and since everything all started with her, I've really gotten into natural medicine in a big way. We also think that what made everything start in the first place was her vaccinations. As soon as she got those, 2 weeks later, her kidney was going into failure. So I got into natural medicine in a big way, and it's only done wonders and just been great the whole time. I mean, if I didn't have it, I think she'd probably be dead by now, and that's not a joke. With the medical system today, there's so many things wrong with it, and the doctors are they're only taught about pharmaceuticals. So how can they know about natural medicine if they're only taught about pharmaceuticals? Now, the myth that I think a lot of people have, or I used to have, is that natural medicine is inferior to like pharmaceutical medicines made by man. But that's actually couldn't be further from the truth. Natural medicines are the most powerful thing on earth, and we're finding out now with studies, we're finding out just how powerful they are. I mean, and when I talk about natural medicines, I don't just mean herbs or some weird stuff. Most of the time what I refer to is food. Food can be your best natural medicine, but it has to be real food, not processed. Raw as possible, like raw fruits and vegetables, and organic if possible, because these days organic isn't something special. Organic is what food is supposed to be. And if you look at conventional food, sprayed with pesticides and chemicals using the fertilizer, and also the soil is severely lacking nutrients. So I mean, there's just, if you really look into organic, you'll see that organic by far is like the way to go, and you can do it without breaking the bank. You can go to Trader Joe's. Everything at Trader Joe's, under the Trader Joe's label, for example, is non-GMO. And you can get some organic stuff at Costco and a lot of other places now, and just you can still do it pretty cheaply. And certain things are more important than others to get organic. Fruits and vegetables are important, and then like food products like milk or meats, or as natural as possible without chemicals and preservatives and stuff. But anyways, food is a big thing. Just a blueberry, for example, has compounds we've never even discovered yet, and that the ones we have discovered, mankind knows nothing about them, how they work on the body. But literally, food is medicine, and that's what Hippocrates, the father of medicine, stated. Let thy food be thy medicine. Well, it really is extremely true. I mean, you can heal almost any chronic disease, and I'm talking about asthma, diabetes, inflammatory diseases, cancer. I mean, all that stuff with natural medicine really doesn't stand a chance. And if you look at conventional medicine, seems to be causing a lot of the chronic diseases and problems with people's health these days, especially vaccines. I think those are a huge thing, responsible for a lot of the childhood diseases that are just flooding our children population nowadays, especially cancer. I mean, it's very prevalent, and we're doing more vaccines than ever. And if you look in the ingredients, it's definitely stuff that's proven that is probably attributing to most of the childhood cancer. But anyways, I digress. Let's move on to the part about fighting a virus, or specifically in this case, BK virus. BK virus is something you can get with a transplanted child. Most people have it. Over 80% of the people have it anyway, just in their kidney, but it doesn't do anything. Well, with my daughter, her immune suppression was too high, and we contacted the hospital about this, and we were telling them for months, hey, you promised us we'd be at this lower level by now. We feel it's too much. We just knew for various reasons that she was on too much, but they wanted to leave it. They just wanted to leave it. And because of that, her immune system was too low, and viruses would really take their toll sometimes. But she got BK virus, and the worst thing about this is that the hospital didn't notice it when it went above 390. If you look on the lab reports, it's supposed to be when the virus goes above 390, like a detectable level. That's when they start taking action to or countermeasures to stop the BK virus, like lowering immune suppression. That's like the number one thing they can do. Other stuff they have is still experimental. They don't really know how well stuff works, may or may not work against BK virus. And a lot of the stuff they have for BK virus that they don't really know if it works, also, get this, causes, or is toxic, it's nephrotoxic. It's toxic to the kidney, can cause kidney damage and stuff. So it's ridiculous. It's like pure poisons is what the conventional doctors are using. It's like choose your poison. But with natural medicine, anyway, I got off track. But with the labs, they went above that like 2 months before, and in November, like in October, it went above the level I told you about, the 390. It was like 500. Well, in November, like a month or two later, that's when they first tell us that she actually has BK virus. It's like the first time they noticed it. And get this, her level was not at 500, or in the thousands. It was at 6 million. 6 million in her blood, BK virus count. That's when we first found out about it and got called by the hospital, and we're like, what? And they even then were slow to take action, and we on our own started lowering her immune suppression, and then a few days later they recommended we lower it even more than what we had. Anyway, so we ended up going to a different hospital for the continuation of care because the other hospital was totally let us down in a big way. I mean, BK virus can destroy the kidney very easily. And these are such insanely high levels that the doctors were just dumbfounded. So we went over to a different hospital over in Oregon, and we have a team that's more specialized with kidneys there in Oregon rather than the liver. My daughter got a liver and kidney. So anyway, so when we went there, they lowered their immune suppression a lot. She was on Prograf and Cellcept. And they completely took her off Cellcept and lowered the Prograf a lot. And they also put her on low-dose steroid. So that's the one thing we could do. But even then, the doctors, they wanted to do a biopsy. We did the biopsy, and it found that this was like the worst BK virus biopsy that a lot of the doctors have ever seen. They even had to call the adult pathologists in to take a look at the BK virus, and they all basically were saying to each other, it's gone, she's going to lose her kidney. Like, that's what they were saying, it's done for, it's gone. And the doctors told me that's what they were saying. But I kept trying to tell my doctor, you don't understand how powerful natural medicines are. And so I already was aware of some antivirals, but I dug in more and did some more research into them. And see, the thing with immune compromised kid is you can't just give them anything that's good. Say elderberry, which is awesome for fighting the flu, it's awesome for boosting your immune system, boost cytokine levels in your body, but can't use that with my daughter because it could boost her immune system too much. And doing that, it's like a balancing act. And doing that, as you know, her immune system can attack the kidney and any transplanted organs. So it's a balancing act, and I have to be careful what natural medicines and what antivirals I give her. The best ones are, let's see, if there's a few others to avoid too. But a lot of stuff that basically boosts your immune system too much you can't use. Like spirulina, can't really use that. It's a blue-green algae, but it boosts the immune system so much that you just can't really risk it. So your best bet is to stick with what I like to think of as like non-interfering antivirals, ones that don't really work through your immune system per se. And a good example of this is cinnamon. Now, if you look, there's been a lot of studies coming out on cinnamon. Very good studies showing it's an extremely potent antiviral. I mean, really good antiviral. And with cinnamon, it's not gonna boost the immune system, but it's gonna have cinnamon in the body and in the blood, And the cinnamon itself, I mean, the cinnamon has medicinal effects on the body, that's for sure, but it's nothing that's going to be bad. I mean, it's good for blood sugar, which a lot of the medicines mess with blood sugar levels, including the steroid. So cinnamon will help regulate blood sugar, but it has other medicinal effects. It's great for you, but it's awesome at killing viruses. So that's one of them that we gave my daughter. Here, I'll move the camera now. So here are the medicines. I'll try my best to hold this still. All right. So here's the medicine. So we'll start with the cinnamon. So cinnamon, yeah, and this is the brand I get. This is a Ceylon cinnamon. So CEYLAON. That's the type of cinnamon supposed to not really get build up as in toxic levels in the liver and that type of thing. So it doesn't really get toxic. And we give her this is a 600 milligram pill. And we give her about one of those twice a day. Ubiquinol. This, if it's a kidney, well, if it's anybody, really, this is extremely good for your heart. Okay, if any heart transplant patients are maybe taking drugs that are bad for the heart, this is extremely good. You can even ask your doctor; they'll probably just prescribe it to you because they even have this available prescription form stuff. This is COQ10, but ubiquinol is the stronger form of it. It's actually a lot more potent, but yeah, and it's not the cheapest, but anyway, we give her about one of these per day. Also, with kidneys, this has been shown in studies to be extremely good at protecting the kidney. I mean, there'll be in the study, I believe, it's been a while since I read it, but a lot of the patients were even able to. A lot of them lowered their creatinine, like 85% of them did, but many of them were able to get off dialysis. Their kidney function improved so much just by taking ubiquinol. So look into that. With all this stuff, look into studies, do your own research. Look into everything and research deeper. But you can pull up a lot of the same studies and look at the studies, and you'll see how powerful this stuff is. But yeah, this is this is all natural, and it's not going to boost the immune system, but it will help protect the kidney tremendously. At the beginning of all this, my daughter's kidney function, her creatinine level was 4.3 or 0.43. Through it went up to I think the highest was 0.55 or something, and maybe 0.62. I can't really remember. And then it went back down, and then now that it's over with, her kidney function is actually at 0.37. So better. Her kidney function was better than it was before all of this started. Get that? Not just destroyed or almost destroyed, but better than this all started. Now I'm going to continue showing the rest of the meds, but to continue with the story, when we started giving the meds, her BK virus went up to 7 million before we even were able to start giving the meds. So it was at 7 million by the time we were actually really taking action. So the doctors also gave her a drug called cidofovir, very low, the lowest doses they could give. But cidofovir is nephrotoxic, and they don't even know if it works. I don't really think it was helping, but it didn't. We just let them do it anyways, So just in case it does help against the viruses. Anyhow, her virus levels went in a week or two, went from 7 million to 5 million, and then the next week they went from 5 million to 2 million, and then the next week they went to 750,000. So it was just dropping by 75% every week. So very rapidly. I mean, the doctors were blown away. They were dumbfounded by how quickly the BK virus is being wiped out of her body. Now, obviously, her immune system had played a role in that, but I'm sure a big role, because they took her off a lot of the immunosuppression meds. But still, it was her BK virus was really just being decimated, and the doctors were just astounded. And at one point, our doctor comes in and she's like, just keep, because at first, of course, she was skeptical and stuff. I mean, they love to hate natural medicines, so that's, I guess, what they're taught. Is that, I don't know, they don't know anything about natural medicines, and they have huge bias against them. But nevertheless, and it doesn't even matter if you show studies. They just like, oh, it's good against viruses. Well, it's not FDA approved for viruses, so we can't give it, but I can. So anyway. Her virus ended up being completely destroyed, and the doctor was like telling us, so just keep doing whatever you're doing. And then she's like, what are you doing? And what are you doing? She asked, and it's, really, they're just quite astounded. They thought she was going to lose her kidney for sure, and then ends up having, being totally, they just took her biopsy a couple weeks ago, and the biopsy showed no BK virus at all. I think she still has, at the time of this video, still has a few thousand BK virus in her, because we had to put her back onto the CellCept and Prograf, but it's lower dose than it was in the past. It's altogether about a half the CellCept and half the Prograf as before all this started, so much better dosing, and the virus is pretty much destroyed, and we're continuing to give this medicine. Anyway, so it's an amazing story, really, and this all happened at the end of 2011 and into beginning of 2012. So yeah, just totally destroying this BK virus, and this will work for any virus, the flu, or regular influenza virus, or any virus that your kid might ever get. You can give this stuff, and it's gonna work against the virus, and this stuff is especially geared for immune compromised kids that you have to lower their immune system so it doesn't attack their transplanted organs. So this stuff is extremely helpful. Again, though, nutrition is top. Go with organic foods, fresh and raw if possible. A lot of food is the best thing you can do, but besides nutrition, back to this stuff. Now, the next thing I'll recommend is vitamin D. This vitamin D is really incredible. I don't know if you've seen, but there's study after study. It seems like every week there's a new study coming out about vitamin D, how good it is for everything, in your entire body. I mean, your brain, your bones, especially your immune system. They say this can cure over 70% of cancers. They're showing in the research, destroying tumors, extremely good against viruses. And vitamin D is what you get from the sun. When you're in the sun, your your skin turns it into usable vitamin D. Sun, of course, would be better than a supplement vitamin D, but you want to take a lot. You want to take, if it's an adult, you want to take, if you're not getting sun that day, then you want to take about 2,000 to 4,000 IU, a lot more than the government recommended, which is extremely low and out of date and completely wrong. For a child, for my daughter, we have these droplets, these oil droplets, because we can put them in our G tube, and we gave her about 1,000 IU a day, and we try and do that when she's not getting sun, to get about 1,000 IU of vitamin D in her a day. Now this will boost her immune system, but it's not, we got permission, the doctors were okay with it and stuff, but besides that, it doesn't boost it too much. It doesn't just overpower the immune system. I mean, it powers it up enough, but with the dose we're giving her and that type of thing, and her immune suppression meds, it's fine. It's actually really, it's so beneficial. I can't recommend it enough. It's good for anything in the world, any chronic disease somebody has, any issue somebody has. This vitamin D is always going to help anything, but it's extremely good for viruses and cancer, and the immune system in general, the body in general. So we go on to turmeric. I have circuminoids. They're from turmeric, the strongest dose. This is a 1,000 milligrams per pill. We'd give her about a fourth of a pill, like a few times a week or something. You can do it every day, like once a day. It's no problem. But if you give it on an empty stomach, it's so potent that you just maybe give it with a little bit of food. But this stuff is very, very good against, again, cancers, all kinds of other stuff, inflammatory stuff. But it's extremely good also as an antiviral. This is some magic stuff right here. All this stuff is really magic in its own way. Oil of oregano, very good against bacteria, but also very good against viruses, and good for your immune system, but it's not going to overpower it too much. But it itself, the actual oil of oregano itself going into the body has chemicals and components that just are extremely good against bacteria and viruses. So I'd recommend a good oil of oregano. We give her about we give her this about I would say 1 capsule once a day. But it depends. So if they're having a bacterial infection or something, you can give them 1 or 2 capsules. You might want to give it with probiotics as well, just to make sure that they're staying high on their probiotics, because it's so potent. You can wipe out some good bacteria. Hemp oil. Hemp oil is probably one of the best oils you could consume, right up there with olive oil, coconut oil, flax oil, but it's better, I would say, better than those. It's probably the number 1 oil I would take if I could just choose one. I love wild Alaskan salmon oil too, but so those are all good oils to give. We sometimes would give coconut oil and wild Alaskan salmon oil, but this hemp oil has omega-3, 6, and 9, and they're all balanced in like the right ratio, the correct ratio you're supposed to get. It's incredibly anti-inflammatory. It's good for all the body's organs. It's good for the entire body in general. It helps with healing, but it's also good, going to help against bacterial and viral infections as well. It's just all around good thing to take, especially if you're trying to help the condition of any of their organs or their body. Transplanted organs, everything's going to benefit from having that. And these are good fats. The body needs them and can only get them from diet. So this is we have a bottle of liquid that we have, the hemp oil liquid that we just squirt into a syringe and give it to my daughter that way. You want to give like about 1 to 2 grams worth of oil like a day, like at least 1 gram of oil, I would say, for a child. All these dosages are what we gave my daughter, and they're not too high. And even if you were giving 5 of these pills, every day, you I don't know, have to do it for like weeks or months before anything. You don't really have to worry about overdosing on any of this. Let's just put it that way, because it's all so safe and natural to begin with. But anyway, vitamin C, tried and true, but vitamin C is actually really, really good for the body and all kinds of things. It's really good against viruses. Helps absorb iron from your food and stuff, and the iron increases red blood cells, which also is good for the body and good for fighting viruses and repair and stuff. But the vitamin C is so good for just everything, and viruses, like I said. But if you can, don't get the cheapy kind. Don't get the ascorbic acid kind, because that's usually those are like stripped down, like they're not real. They're like chemicals, basically chemicals made in a lab to resemble the molecular structure of vitamin C. But just because it doesn't come with all the extra components as it would in nature. It's like getting a bicycle wheel with a couple of spokes, instead of all the spokes. You need everything that comes with along with the vitamin C in nature. You need the full complex. So we were in a hurry at Whole Foods, but we got this, which is an awesome brand. But this is pure vitamin C from, let's see if I can get it on here. Acerola berries. Let's see here. Yep. Ingredients: acerola berry, acerola extract, and that's it. So it's the acerola berry is extremely high in vitamin C, but that's basically what it is an extract from that berry in here. So it's actually food, like a lot of this stuff. Basically, it's food. And we would give her, try and give her around 250 to 500% of her daily recommended percent of vitamin C. So whatever that is. But yeah. Again, all this stuff we let the doctors know, and they didn't really see any problem with any of it. Yours might, but that's just the world of doctors, I guess. Conventional doctors, anyway. It's It's some dark times right now. But anyhow, all this stuff is incredibly good. If they look at the latest studies, they'll see how safe and how powerful this stuff really is, and that it blows away anything that the conventional doctors have in their weak arsenal. They don't have anything that can compare, and it's really funny because everyone's kind of brought up to think their whole lives that conventional medicine is the best, and they got the latest technology, and they got medicines that work or something, but their medicines don't do jack. They don't cure anything, and they only fight symptoms, chase symptoms, and that type of thing. But none of their medicines actually work. If you have diabetes, you'll be on diabetes medicine the rest of your life, and that type of thing. Cancer, the chemo kills you. Basically, you don't want to go on chemo. You want to do the right thing and boost your immune system and have the best nutrition known to man and consume tons of superfoods, that type of thing, and you'll wipe out that virus. Detox your body, so get rid of things that could be causing it. Is there aluminum in your deodorant? It could be causing like breast cancer, for example. Just look around. You're surrounded by chemicals. Try and go natural, try and go organic, and like I said, detox your body and eat right and stuff, and you can reverse practically anything: diabetes, cancer. And I say reverse because that's what it is. It usually happens from the food you eat in the first place, not getting the right nutrition, or eating toxic foods. Fast food is toxic, processed, and most of the food at Walmart is toxic. Most of the stuff has high fructose corn syrup. I mean, when you really get into it, you see you're surrounded by crap, by poisonous food and stuff that really literally will end up killing you or giving you chronic diseases. So it's all about the right food, the right choices, the right medicine, natural medicine and stuff, and your body is going to just be in the best health of your life. And so this is all really, really good for your child, especially if they've had a transplant. This is just so good for their body. I'll just get to the last couple things. Zinc is very good for the immune system, extremely good. It's not going to overpower it too much, and a lot of people and kids might be deficient on zinc. In fact, they'll probably be deficient on a lot of this because all this has to be gotten from their diet, has to be gotten from outside sources. So what happens if they don't get that much vitamin C or that much good fats in their diet, or if they didn't get the sun that day, that type of thing. So all of this that's why it's in supplement form, so you can supplement and really provide the body ample amounts that it needs. Let's see here. Now, resveratrol you've probably heard of for anti-aging and as a very good antioxidant. Red wine, grapes, that type of thing, and it is really good. But natural resveratrol also so happens to be really good against viruses. They're finding out, and so that will do that without like boosting the immune system. It'll go and directly interact with the viruses. Really good for you. Vitamin E, we get this vitamin code raw vitamin E. So it's a food source. All my vitamins are food source, so they come from food. Basically, they are food, and you can take them on an empty stomach if you wanted. So this vitamin E also does have some vitamin D, so be aware of that. For 2 capsules, so one serving of this is 1,000 IU of vitamin D. So we sometimes, let me get back. We give my daughter about one of these per day. This resveratrol we give about once per day, or twice actually per day. Of the pills, 1 whole pill, 1 pill twice a day. Let's see here. Yeah, I got the dosages for everything else so far. So like I said, we'll want to do about 1,000 IU of vitamin D a day, but 2 pills right here has 1,000 IU, so you won't even need to give a separate vitamin D, really, if that's what you're trying to do, is just get around 1,000 IU. So yeah, we give 1 pill of this twice a day, so morning and night, and the vitamin E is good against viruses itself, but this also has selenium, vitamin K, vitamin A. I mean, all extremely good for the body, the liver, the organs, the blood, and really good against viruses. And it's going to help the immune system, but it's not going to overpower it. And then finally, last but certainly not least is Colloidal Silver. Now, this is just one brand. I've tried several. It's actually a very good brand. But anyhow, Colloidal Silver is just, for as far as being an antibiotic, it's the best antibiotic like known to mankind right now, for destroying bacteria. Bacteria cannot become resistant. It just wipes them out. There's no infection that can not just be destroyed by colloidal silver. For example, I fixed like 5 different ear infections that are extremely bad. They're swollen. You can't even touch their ears. For example, they're so in so much pain. You put 1 or 2 drops of this in the ear, and 5 minutes later, it's over with, and that's the end of it. You don't even have to put in more later, really. Well, you might. I don't know. But we didn't have to put in more. It was just 1 dose straight in the ear, and 5 minutes later, ear infection's gone. It's very, very powerful stuff. I mean, I've heard so many miracle stories from friends and just and reading online. And then the studies, there's a lot of studies going back for a long time, but the medical establishment is against it. But it's not a toxic heavy metal like mercury, for example. This is which doctors inject into kids every day and that type of thing. But anyway, silver is beneficial for you, and it's really, really good for destroying bacteria, and it also is really good for fighting viruses. So yeah, I would really recommend this. We would give my daughter, like, when she's sick, or like say had the BK virus, then we want to give at least like a tablespoon in a day, at least. Now, the ionic silver, because sometimes there's particle colloidal silver and ionic colloidal silver, and the ionic is a smaller molecules. There are small groups of atoms of silver, where the particle, they're a little bit larger groups, and they're actual particles. So a lot of the times the particle colloidal silver appears like a light yellowish color when you actually look at the liquid, but the ionic colloidal silver will usually appear clear. And the ionic, I would probably say, is better for the situation, because the ions are small enough to enter virus cells and destroy them. So really powerful stuff. You research into this, the more and more you research, the more you find out how awesome it is. And the only thing the medical establishment says that could really happen is you can turn blue, but I've used it for 5 years and that hasn't happened, and they're just trying to scare people, fear-mongering. The only people who have turned blue are people who are making it at home, and they don't know what they're doing. They're using like sink water and using a really crude process, and sometimes adding ingredients like salt, which would it just they do all this stuff, and then they drink a ton of it, and then when the silver gets deposited in their skin, because they don't know what they're doing, and they're drinking so much of it, it'll turn bluish. But you can actually reverse that with selenium therapy and some other therapies. You can actually reverse aguria. And it's only happened to very, very few amount of people in this country, and some people it's even happened from using silver nitrates and stuff from pharmaceuticals. So anyway, but yeah, a lot of hospitals, some new hospitals being built have silver coated on their walls and the paint and stuff, because it's good against viruses and bacteria. They use it in medical bandages. It's used in water filters, air filters. Silver is extremely powerful stuff. I mean, we put a little bit in some milk and left another cup of milk, and the one without the silver went bad really fast in a couple days or whatever, and the one with silver never went bad. It was still watery and everything after like 6 days. So it's so powerful, and an awesome thing about this is it has zero effect at all on your actual immune system. It will not boost the immune system whatsoever, but only aid it. So it's the silver floating around in the body and the blood that helps, and that interacts with the bacteria or viruses and destroys them. This is better for bacteria, but again, you totally use it for viruses, and it's only going to help. It's actually something you should or could give every day with an immune compromised kid, and it's only going to help keep them from getting new diseases and stuff, and help protect them. So when you use now, and the last thing we did, we also would give my daughter a lot of fluids, a lot of liquids, just different stuff. A lot of times water or juice or
coconut water, sometimes tea is good, but just a lot of fluids throughout the day to keep the kidney flush, because it has that BK virus in there, trying to break it down, and so you have to keep it flush. Think of it as a house that's like on fire or trying to catch on fire, and you're constantly trying to spray it down with water to keep it from catching on fire. Well, with the kidney, if you let up for too long, like they go a day without fluids or a few days without fluids, that can make a big difference. And so you really want to keep up the fluids, keep it flowing, and keep cleansing the kidney out. Just keep those fluids up night and day. We had, again, my daughter has a G tube, so it makes it a lot easier for us to get her the amount of fluid she needs, but with the feeding bag. But keep the fluids up every day. And this is what we did. So yeah, again, one last time with the dosages. This is about 250 to 500% daily recommended amount. Try and give this like once a day or even twice a day, which would total like 500%. And 1 to 2 pills of this, or 1 to 3 grams of hemp oil a day. If you're doing it like every day, do like 1 gram, I would say. We give like 1 of these oil of oreganos. This 1 pill twice a day. Once a day, 1 pill. 1 pill twice a day. 1 pill twice a day. 1 pill once a day. A fourth of a pill of this, so 250 milligrams of 95% cercaminoids. About a few times a week, but you can do it every day. And then about 1,000 IU of vitamin D once every day. But again, vitamin D is usually already in vitamin E, and if it is, then you don't need to give it separately. And you can look into other stuff. There's other herbs, there's other stuff. Just be careful. It's not going to boost the immune system in too much of a way. You want stuff, like I said, that works independently of the immune system, like cinnamon and silver, those types of things. You don't really have to worry about it boosting the immune system and having the body attack the transplanted organs. And this is how you do it. And so my daughter got not only got over BK virus, but an unheard of level of BK virus. Went from 7 million BK virus in the blood, and the kidney was infested with the BK virus when we did the biopsy. So, and we overcame that. It's all within about 2 months for the most part. It was all over with, and towards the end of it, we had to do. Her body actually started to attack her organs. It killed the BK virus, but it's starting to attack the organs, and so we caught it quick. And then we did a steroid pulse. So high steroids, and then brought it down over a week or two. Pulsed those steroids, but not too high. I think we started with 10 twice a day, I think. Anyway, but you don't want to go too high. Anyhow, so we did the pulse steroids, and then got off the pulse steroids and transitioned to a lower dose CellCept Prograf. So now that's what she's on. And everything's stable, and over time we're going to try and get her on lower amounts of CellCept if we can. But yeah, that's how you can fight viruses or even bacterial infections, and specifically BK virus. One last thing I just almost forgot is with the silver, you should get a nebulizer where you breathe in the medicine. And do something weird with my eyes, where you can breathe in the medicine and you can breathe in the silver. That's probably one of the best ways to take the silver. You can drink it, which you hold it under the tongue for at least 30 seconds or a minute, or as long as possible, because the blood transports from under the tongue to the rest of the body. So having the colloidal silver under there, that's a good idea. But breathing it is the best way, and it'll solve any lung infection or nasal infection or anything. And even if there is no infection, breathing it will send the silver straight to the lungs and straight to blood, so it doesn't have to go through your stomach first and then
whatever happens to it, you know, and then some maybe makes it to your blood. Breathing it, like, it's all just going to go straight into your lungs, straight into your bloodstream, and that's like one of the best ways. So I'd highly recommend breathing it, getting a nebulizer and breathing it. Yeah, and one last note. So we've had a lot of experience with the whole medical system and doctors and hospitals, and it was almost 4 years total since this all started. And my daughter was on dialysis for almost 3 years, and we were waiting on transplant list for like 6 months. She ended up needing a kidney and liver, and yeah, so we've been in hospitals. We've like lived in hospitals practically. We've had tons of doctors. We've been to some of the best hospitals, some of the best conventional hospitals around. But if you ask me, hospitals are really more like death machines. You go in and hopefully you'll come out, because of all those secondary infections and all the stupid stuff doctors are trying to do. They really don't seem to be all that bright most of the time. But anyway, so we have really extensive experience, and I've done a lot of natural medicine research over the last 4 years, a lot. Reading studies mostly and that type of thing, medical studies. But we have so much experience with doctors and conventional medicine in general, hospitals, all of that. Research into more of what I said about the medicines, and look into everything more. And good luck, and God bless. God be with you, and your kids or you. And hopefully, my hope is hopefully this information will help somebody else. Even if it just helps one person, that'd be awesome. If it could just help one person. If we didn't do this natural medicine, I'm like pretty certain her kidney would be severely damaged or totally destroyed by now. So yeah, again, that's it. All right, I hope you guys liked this video, and I hope I didn't offend anybody, but because medicine, conventional medicine's becoming so controversial and kind of like a sensitive topic. So anyhow, that's the truth, and that's everything how I view it, and my experiences and what I've learned. So hopefully that helps somebody. All right.